Hello and welcome to LANKAPUVATH Web News. It's good to have you with us. I'm Sonali Pereira. As for the headlines for today, President tells British delegation to be cautious of LTT's false propaganda. Ranaviru Commemoration Month begins on the 7th of May and the LTTE suffers heavy losses in Vellamulla. Well, moving on to the news in detail now. President Mahinda Rajapaksa, speaking at Temple Trees yesterday, said that it is necessary to be cautious of false information spread by pro-LTT groups and sections of the media, and to take note that the LTTE uses donations for their military activities. Considerable photographic evidence was shown to the delegates on the LTT's terror tactics and harm caused to civilians. These included pictures of how the LTTE had made bunkers with the food given to civilians by local and international organizations. Discussions were also held on welfare measures for civilians who were rescued from the terrorists in the north and their speedy resettlement. The President requested that the delegation not be misled by false information aimed at disgracing the government and invited them to visit Vavuniya and see for themselves the real situation prevailing there. According to the Media Centre for National Security, that's the MCNS, Sri Lankan military troops of the 53rd Division inflicted heavy damages to LTT terrorists in the Vellamulla area in Mullaitivu in clashes which occurred throughout yesterday. The clashes occurred at around 6 a.m. last morning, and in subsequent search operations, troops recovered a T-56 weapon from the area. LTT terrorists also sustained severe damages in confrontations with troops of the 58th Division north of Vellamulla the same day. Subsequently, troops recovered 4 T-56 weapons, 1 gas pistol and a T-81 weapon from the area. Snipers of the 59th Division also inflicted heavy losses to the LTTE in the areas in attacks launched between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. yesterday. Also in LANKAPUVATH Web News, video footage belonging to the LTTE recovered from the possession of a dead LTT cadre by the 58th Division during ground advances into the general area south of Vellamulla proved the LTT's use of civilians as forced labor. The video footage provides substantial evidence on the heinous crimes perpetrated by the LTTE against innocent civilians held at gunpoint. There is ample proof of the humanitarian catastrophe committed by the LTTE in the remaining swathe of land where the LTTE holds on to an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 civilians as human shields for its leaders and remaining fighters. This video provides enough evidence for the international community who seek genuine information on the existing ground situation. What is most startling, though, is the observed silence of NGOs and other independent observers, human rights activists, despite such evidence that is constantly brought to light on the unfolding civilian suffering under the LTTE. The video footage shows terrorists in civilian attire firing at both security forces and fleeing hostages by a pedal gun fixed to an armor-plated unicorn-type vehicle. According to the correspondent, the army had destroyed 2 such unicorn-type vehicles so far, one earlier during confrontations at Pudmathalan. The video shows in the background civilians brought to build earth bunds being forced to camouflage the vehicle with leaves and branches. This video shows another LTT cameraman who is positioned to video any form of military retaliation towards the terrorists, taking cover among civilians engaged in forced labor. Further on in the news, the Ranaviru Seva Authority is to conduct a program to commemorate heroes who paid the supreme sacrifice to safeguard the sovereignty of the motherland and freedom of the people, and those who were disabled in their noble mission in their heroic selfless struggle against brutal terrorism which has threatened the country for over 2 decades. Director General of the Media Centre for National Security, Lakshman Hulugala, said yesterday at a meeting held at the MCNS that this year the Ranaviru Commemoration Month is being held from the 7th of May to the 7th of June. The official ceremony will be held near the Ranaviru Monument at the Parliamentary Complex. Mr. Hulugala added that a commemorative bracelet will be introduced to mark War Heroes Month, and the income earned from the sale will be deposited in the Api Venuwen Api Fund launched for the welfare of war heroes. Mr. Hulugala also appealed to the media to display the logo designed in memory of war heroes. A lamp will also be lit in honor of war heroes every Amavaka day to invoke blessings on them. Also in the news, responding to the recent appeal for assistance addressed to the international community by the Sri Lankan government, the Italian government has decided to allocate an immediate voluntary contribution of 400,000 euros, equivalent to over 6 million rupees, to the World Food Programme or WFP to contribute to the implementation of the project Food for Peace Building and Recovery in Conflict-Affected Areas. The purpose of the project is to enhance the availability of food supplies for internally displaced persons and people resident in conflict-affected areas, mainly in the eastern and northern districts of Sri Lanka. Special attention in implementing the project will be given to pregnant women and children under 5 years of age. In the last few months, the Italian government had already contributed 250,000 euros to the UNHCR and 20,060 euros to the WHO to alleviate the condition of refugees and IDPs in Sri Lanka. And in the world of sport, the Rajasthan Royals smashed Kings 11 Punjab by 78 runs in the 30th IPL match played at Kingsmead in Durban yesterday. The Kings 11 Punjab team won the toss and invited the Rajasthan Royals to bat first. Well, the Rajasthan Royals put up an outstanding score of 211 runs for the loss of 4 wickets, which is also the highest score played by a team at the IPL games this season. Naman Ojha scored 68 runs and Graham Smith got 77 runs. Chasing a score of 212 runs, the Kings 11 Punjab could reach only 133 runs as the Rajasthan Royals dismissed all Rajasthan Royals batsmen. Yuvraj Singh scored 48 runs and Irfan Pathan 19 runs. Well, Amit Singh bagged 3 wickets while Shane Warne took 2, while Shane Harwood, Yusuf Pathan and Siddharth Trivedi took 1 wicket each. Well, on that note, we wrap up LANKAPUVATH Web News for today. Thank you for being with us. Do join us again tomorrow for more news.